Heidi-ho, Arkansas Pilgrim here again. I haven't done one of these things that stir or touch my heart videos in a while, even though it's been, I've had one on my mind, had a few on my mind. This one has to do with the movie It's a Wonderful Life. A lot of people make fun of that movie because I guess it's kind of sentimental or kind of sappy or whatever, but hey, what's wrong with that? But it's been played a lot, and not to go off on a rabbit trail, but one of the reasons it got played so much is its copyright was allowed to expire. So a lot of local TV stations could show it, during Christmas time without having to pay for it. So if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. And I'm going to give a couple spoilers here, I guess, but I don't think it's not gonna hurt anything. It's not the same impact as having seen the whole movie and seeing these things come up. Quick rundown of the story. There's a man named George Bailey, and he's a dreamer. But because he self-sacrifices a lot and puts people ahead of himself, other people ahead of himself, he ends up being stuck in his one-horse town and not being able to follow his dreams. And a series of different things happen where he puts himself ahead of others, and his plans keep getting dashed. His dreams are to go and build things, build modern cities and bridges, and make a mark on the world and do something important. Well, one of the ways he keeps those dreams alive is he builds a model of a city, and it's got bridges and buildings and stuff in it, and it's over in a corner of his living room. Well, the scene you're about to see is when a really big thing happens, another dash to his hopes and dreams, but this one's way worse than all the others, and this is his response to it.
Dad, how do you spell hallelujah?
How should I know? What do you think I am, a dictionary? Tommy, stop that, stop it. Janie, haven't you learned that silly tune yet? You play it over and over again. Now stop it, stop it. I'm sorry, Mary. Janie, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. You go on and practice. Pete, I owe you an apology, too. I'm sorry. What do you want to know?
Nothing, Daddy.
Well, I felt that exact same way every day for about 10 years. And what I was feeling and what he's feeling is not depression. And it's actually one of the things that's so brilliant about this movie. At the very beginning, when the story is introduced, everybody is praying for George, and the movie is a flashback, and it's flashbacking from about this point. But where everybody's praying for George, his prayers are answered in heaven, and there's a little scene at the beginning where they're talking to an angel, and they're going to send him to help George. But listen to what the man says the problem is.
I owe everything to George Bailey. Help him, dear Father.
Joseph, Jesus, and Mary, help my friend, Mr. Bailey.
Help my son George tonight.
He never thinks about himself, God. That's why he's in trouble.
George is a good guy. Give him a break, God.
I love him, dear Lord. Watch over him tonight.
Please, God, Something's the matter with Daddy. Please bring Daddy back.
What'd you bring tonight?
Hello, Joseph. Trouble?
Looks like we'll have to send someone down. A lot of people asking for help for a man named George Bailey.
George Bailey. Yes, tonight's his crucial night. You're right. We'll have to send someone down immediately. Whose turn is it?
That's why I came to see you, sir. It's that clockmaker's turn again.
Oh, Clarence hasn't got his wings yet, has he?
We've passed him up right along. Because, you know, sir, he's got the IQ of a rabbit.
Yes, but he's got the faith of a child. Simple. Joseph, send for Clarence.
You sent for me, sir?
Yes, Clarence. A man down on Earth needs our help.
Splendid. Is he sick?
No, worse. He's discouraged.
He's not sick. Worse, he's discouraged. George isn't depressed or sick. He's discouraged. I know if any of you listening to this, watching this, or they think you're depressed, maybe you're not depressed, just sad for no reason. You're discouraged. I know I was, and I still struggle with that. But one of the things that's really, I don't know if you want to call it funny, is that God used YouTube to kind of help start pulling me out of this discouragement. God fathered me through a YouTuber named Cody. His channel's Wrangler Star. He's been doing it quite a while, but when I started watching him, he'd already been doing it a couple years, and he is part of how I even discovered YouTube. I thought it was just this goofy thing that angst-ridden teenage girls put their diaries online with, until I stumbled across one of his videos, and he made a lot of stuff with his hands. He was building a homestead. Actually, originally starting to do an off-grid homestead. There's quite a story there that he has. But he was working by himself a lot, making do with what he had. And as I was watching this, one of the times I'm thinking, I thought something my dad told me. It was like, hey, do what you can with what you have where you are, because he's making do with something, trying to work by himself and work with the with working with what he's got, and he doesn't necessarily have all the right tools or whatever. And then right after that, he says, well, do what you can with what you have where you are. And I was like, oh, whoa, what a coincidence. But then that started happening more often. Something my dad would have told me, or my brother, or even just thoughts I would have as I'm watching his video. And then, 10 seconds later, word for word, he'd say it. Either his reaction to something, I was reacting to something going on, and then his reaction to it was the same. And I'm not saying that we're like the same people. We're, our personalities, we are different. But as I'm watching this, I'm going, this guy is kind of a neat guy. He's a Christian. He's out there about his faith. But he persevered. He didn't get discouraged. He would keep going. Of course, he might have, and maybe just didn't show that, but he showed a lot of places where he messed up and did something wrong. So he wasn't hiding all that. And I'm sitting here, and God is fathering me through him by saying, this guy, he kind of seems to have his shit half together. He seems like kind of a neat guy. And you kind of think alike on a lot of different things. That's what I'm thinking. I kind of, geez, maybe I'm not as big a goober as I thought I was. And that kind of got me on the road to recovery. So I guess that's why I kind of give YouTube a little more credence than I should in some ways. Anyway, that's just a little bit of my story, but I do want to end it on a positive note. And then this is, hey, this is a spoiler. This is one of the last scenes. This is the last scene in the movie. But it's this thing that It always chokes me up when I see it or even think about it. Because, yeah, the movie does have a happy ending. I'll tell you that. I hate movies that don't have happy endings. And it's, everything's working out okay. And, well, here. Just watch.
I could. The fool flew all the way up here in a blizzard.
Harry, how about your banquet in New York?
Oh, I left right in the middle of it. As soon as I got Mary's telegram. Good idea, Ernie. A toast. To my big brother, George, the richest man in town.
Yeah, he'd made so much a difference in everyone's lives that he was the richest man in town. I guess if you take your eyes off yourself and look at others, that helps. Anyway, I hope this has been, maybe encouraging to some. And others, hey, you've just gotten a little bit of insight into how Arkansas Pilgrim ticks. God bless you all. See you next time.